What is up? It's your boy Johnny Shreve, aka Mr. Tell Like It Is. Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are coaching up Lean Beef Patty yet again, and this time she's doing chest. In her last video, building a monster chest, chest, triceps, shoulders, and ab workout. I'm gonna go through every one of these exercises, pull up the things that she's doing wrong, bridge the gap of knowledge so you guys understand how to do them right, and then demonstrate them for you guys so you guys can apply it to your chest, shoulder, abs, and tricep workout next time as well too. Let's get into it. All right, doing this in a mobility workout, it's good. One thing I do like about Lean Beef is she does keep mobility as a priority in her lifting. And that's something you guys need to do. I don't know how many times I have consult calls and someone's like, hey Johnny, you know, what do I do about my shoulder? You know what I mean? It's bugging me. I'm like, do you stretch or do any mobility at all? And they're like, no. I'm like, well, what do you, guys, you can't expect to go to the gym, beat yourself up lifting weights, and then not stretch or not work on your mobility. When you work on mobility like she's doing, it's gonna keep you strong and fluent throughout your full range of motion, and it will reduce risk of injury. It's not gonna keep you from getting injured because we get injured from freaky shit. It's definitely gonna reduce the risk of injury. Plus, when you're trying to get into your full range of motion, there is no restrictions. So work on your mobility. That is priority. I like how she's setting up. She pushes out first. Good, I like that start first. And this is, okay, there, all right, guys. Okay, so I gotta go to the lab right now, guys, and show you guys how to correct these cable flies. Let's go. Okay, so first, couple mistakes she's making right away is we wanna make sure when we're doing our cable flies that the cable itself is gonna be in the same angle as our arms. So you don't wanna be like this and the cable's like this because you have your arm, you know, externally rotated, meaning the elbows are pointing down. We want the elbows to point back and be on the same angle as the cables. Now, when you're doing this, again, we wanna milk the heck out of the entire rep, the entire range of motion. So when we're getting our cables, get our cables in, pull them into us, just walk out a bit, right? And from here, plant your feet. You can have your feet, you know, shoulder width apart, staggered, or you can stay straight, but you have to do a little bit more of a balancing act when you're like this. So I like being a little more of a staggered position, feet back, anchoring ourselves. Chest is gonna stay up. We're gonna push the weight in front of us first, lining up the cables with our arms, and then opening up our chest, and then wide, and then letting it stretch us from here. And then we're gonna push from that nice grippy, that nice middle part of our hand. We're gonna push them there straight forward, and then close the gap to midline. So we have a nice tight squeeze here. We wanna finish here, letting the cables pull us open, bending the elbows a bit, stretching from the top, and then pushing through, and we're pushing in the end, right? I don't wanna roll my shoulders, I wanna keep my chest up the entire time. So I'm back here, and then we're stretching and press. All right, guys, hope that helped you out with your cable flies. Make sure you guys apply it the next time you're doing your cable chest flies. Again, use those same cues when it comes to doing high to low, low to high, or just neutral in the middle. All right, let's go to the next exercise here.
Dumbbell overhead shoulder press. That sounded kind of redundant.
So, okay, a couple things she's doing that, again, I see this happen all the time. Guys, I'm gonna say this, I'll say this till I'm blue in the face. Every exercise that you do in the gym, whether you're using a machine, dumbbells or free weights, barbell, dumbbell, whatever, the last part of the movement is gonna put you into the natural stretch part of the lift. So stop bypassing that. The problem is everyone is so focused on getting the weight up. The reason we want to get the weight up or away from us is so we can get back down into that stretch and finish in that stretch. Let's get down to the lab right now and sort this out. Let's go. When we're doing a dumbbell press, a couple things she's doing, like some small, tiny things, like it's really not that big of a deal, but for me, creating a good base is gonna be key to your success in all of your lifts. Make sure from floor to core is grounded. What I mean by that is like, I don't wanna be like this and have my leg out like this and trying to push this way. I wanna have my feet, you know, basically like almost like shoulder apart, almost in a way where if I can get up and just squat. If I was doing like a box squat, that's how I like to be. It just gives me a lot more control from floor to core. Now, when we're pressing our weight, again, kicking one up one at a time, again, we can adjust the bench depending on how mobile your shoulders are. If you don't have that mobile of shoulders, then put a bit of an incline on. It's completely fine. We're hitting the front delts and the side delt doing dumbbell presses. So kick them up one at a time. You're gonna get your chest up. Again, adjust your feet again. You're gonna have your feet a little bit underneath your knees. Push your butt to the back of the bench. Head back, chest up nice and tall. Pretend you're at the bottom of a pull-up. So if we're doing a pull-up, we'd be down pulling up like this. This is exactly how we wanna be at the bottom. Slight angle on your arms. You don't have to be wide like this and flared out. We have a tiny little bit of angle coming in, stacking the joints, fists, wrists, and elbows are gonna be underneath the dumbbells, and we're gonna press up, keeping the shoulders down. And I always like to say, think about you're trying to press yourself into the floor, right? Then we have to kind of just bouncing like this. Then on the way down, again, think of doing a D handle pull down. I'm gonna pull the weight down to me, chest is gonna be nice and tall from here, nice stretch, pushing up again, pulling down 2 D handles, almost like we're doing a pull down, nice stretch from the top, and then push yourself. Just little small cues like that will make you more successful when you're training. All right, we're back. I get her channel. It's more of like vlog, you know, look at me, watch me train. You know, hopefully it motivates you to train too. The problem sometimes with this is that Lean Beef is doing some things that, you know, other girls are gonna watch and other men are gonna watch, and they're gonna copy it. We gotta get down to the lab, guys, and we gotta correct this because I swear I've been correcting dumbbell lateral raises for probably the last decade. Guys, this is a very, very common mistake I always see when people are doing lateral raises. Now she's doing the same thing. Very common mistake is that because we're holding the weight, we have this idea of we were pulling the weight with our hands. Remember, I'm always gonna make this analogy or just give you guys this example. When our chest, our delts, our back, they're pulling this bone. This bone is being pulled by this bone, this muscle, and this muscle. The bicep and the tricep will pull this arm up and pull it down. That's it. This muscle, your delt, your front delt, your side delt, your rear delt, your chest, and your back are gonna move this bone. It's gonna move this bone like this. It's gonna move the bone like this. It's gonna move the bone like this. When you're holding a dumbbell, the problem when people think is when holding this is they think of pulling with it. So we have this weird thing where the hand does this and we're pulling like, and then we have this kind of movement here where our delts are lower than the actual dumbbells. We want the dumbbells to be like this. We want it to be completely straight when we're moving. When you're grabbing your dumbbells, hold your dumbbells in front. If you're doing a lot of raises from a standing position or even seated, give yourself a tiny little bit of a hinge. A tiny hinge like this, chest nice and tall. And then remember, when we're pulling the weight, we're pulling with the delts. So the delts are pulling the arm up. I want my delts to pull the elbow first and then the wrist second, right? We don't want the wrist to droop like this either. We want to be nice and flat and firm and straight. So when we're pulling, everything is coming up from the delt first. Now a good cue is to think of pretend there's some paint cans attached to your elbows and you're pulling with your elbows. That's gonna keep your arms in a nice straight position. So when you're actually doing the actual lift, the delts are doing the job and we don't have this kind of thing happening here, and then your forearms get tired and your traps start doing more work than anything else. We wanna have the hands basically in a neutral position. I like to kind of give that analogy again. Remember, if we're gonna punch straight, we're doing this and opening your arm up. We wanna be in this plane. We don't wanna punch like this, we wanna punch like this. We're not trying to do, when you're here, let the weight pull you down, let that natural gravity lengthen your arms, lock it in by flexing your bis and tries slightly, chest nice and tall, and then we're gonna pull with our delts, and think delts, elbows, and then fists. So we're here and pulling up. If you can't do the same motion with added weight, drop the weight, grab weight that can keep you under control so you can do the 4-range of motion with good form. All right, we're back. We're back. Now let's just watch a couple more reps just to kind of just go over it again. You can see when she's doing these. So like, you know, when I look at this, it's like she's got 20s. Now I'm not saying she's not strong enough, but if you want to do it more controlled, we're gonna do it more controlled and just do less reps. We're gonna do it more controlled, do the same amount of reps, but we're gonna drop the weight so we can achieve doing the rep properly. We're looking at maximum attention. It's gonna be a combination of a few things. Time and attention. Time and attention is going to be affected by distance as well too. If I'm only going like half of the distance, I'm not getting that much time and attention. If I lengthen that distance, then I'm gonna have that much more time and attention, which is gonna create more tension. Then we wanna get all the way up to the top. So Lean is missing a lot of that rep by choosing the way she's choosing and doing the reps the way she's doing it, and she's not getting the most out of that rep. So guys, lower the weight, lower it.
Next exercise. Tricep. Pull down, push down.
She did the no-no. Like I say, everyone does this. See the angle of the cable, right? We wanna make sure the angle of the cable stays straight. We don't wanna pull the weight into us and let me just get down to the lab and just show you guys how to do this properly. Let's go. Here's something that I'm seeing all of the time. When we're doing cable, tricep, bicep, whatever we're doing, we wanna keep the cable on this like plane that continues straight down. We wanna do it as much as we can because we're gonna keep things that much tighter and the tension harder. We wanna make things hard. Hey, what Lean Beef is doing is like most people do. They get the weight, they get here, they're far away from this way, and they're pulling in here, they're trying their best to get everything pulled in this way so that gives them more power and control when we're here. And then we're pulling, and then eventually when things get hard, we're rolling down this way, then we're like, ugh, and we're pulling in, and we have this kind of like congestion here, and you can see how my legs are getting in the way. What we want is keep my arms here. I'm going to hinge slightly. I'm gonna walk up towards the weight. I want this to be nice and tight to my body. I want this thing going straight down. And then when I get up close enough, you can see that I have my wrist and my bicep touching. I want my forearm, my bicep to touch. That means we're getting that full flexion in the elbow. We're getting a nice stretch here at the top of the lift. So we have tension right away, and I'm gonna lock those elbows in by pushing them down. That's gonna keep my shoulders from rising up like this. So I'm gonna take my elbows from here, push them to the floor. There's already tension, slight hinge, you're gonna be over top my weight. And then when I'm pressing down, right, I'm continuing that same angle that my elbow is in. So I'm pushing my elbow to the floor, my lats are gonna be engaged to lock my elbows right in. And then when I extend at the bottom, that angle stays the exact same as when I started. So I'm not having my elbow back here, and then all of a sudden I'm hitting my thighs on the way down. Stretch, push down. And when it gets hard and you can't do it anymore, we're not gonna do this and try to wrench it down just to get some extra reps. We're gonna sit here and we're gonna be like, shoot, I can't get it down anymore. A couple of tricks we can do. We can push these together and we can just do partials from here like that until we can't do anymore. But we don't wanna get to here and then just trying to get down here, because remember, every machine, every movement in itself is gonna put us into that natural stretch position at the end of the lift. When you're done your set and you're like, all right, I got all these reps, and all of a sudden you're just like, and you walk off, you just wasted a rep. Hold that stretch, and let it go, because that's the last rep, and our last rep is gonna put us or leave us in the stretch so we can milk the heck out of that muscle hypertrophy or muscle recruitment. So I hope that gives you a better understanding on how to optimize your cable tricep extensions.
Cable crunches.
Now because the cable crunches, she got the whole thing. Cool. Oh, what the H? Oh, my back. I mean, she's flexible as hell on her back, but jeez, oh! Couple things she's doing, like, okay, there's a couple ways you can hold it. Like, I like holding it a different way that makes it easier for you to keep your body in place. Lean Beef can do in the way she's doing them because she's a past gymnast, she's flexible, she works on mobility, and obviously, it's working for her. But for you guys, let's learn how to do some cable crunches properly. Let's go. All right, so, kudos to Lean Beef for spreading that fitness love, but the problem is, she's not a coach. So she's just gonna show you how to do exercises the way she does them without properly correcting you. So I'm gonna correct you guys in doing a cable crunch. Easy thing to do is, we're gonna put your hands, you're gonna lock these together, and you're gonna put your head on your hand. Like, you're basically gonna do like this. You're gonna go like this with the cables, and you're gonna put them right on your forehead like this. And you lock yourself in and be nice and tight. This is gonna stay as one firm being, basically, right? Torso gonna be straight. From here, we're gonna flex our spine with our core, right? Now, when we're doing that, what we don't wanna do is just kind of do this, right? We're not sticking the butt out and then doing this at the bottom, then come up like this, and doing the bottom like this, like she's doing. I want the cables to naturally pull me all the way up, and then I'm gonna flex my core by pulling everything down, pulling all the way to the floor, all the way down, and then letting the cables come back up, pull me back up to that stretch position, and then pulling everything down again. I'm flexing every bit of my spine because that's what our abs do. Our core flexes the spine, but we don't just want the butt coming out here and then just doing this, because this looks weird and I don't know what this is. Now I'm exaggerating the breath just so you can hear, but that's what I want to do. Anytime we do any core exercise, we want to breathe out. We want to breathe out when we're flexing our spine. We want to breathe out when we're flexing our legs up or pulling our knees in. We want to make sure that that contraction is coming from here. And guess what? That's the same as engaging your core. You have to breathe to engage this, not suck it in. You're not doing a vacuum. You're engaging the core by flexing it and tightening it. And we're back. That's it, guys, for today's workout. I hope you guys learned some things you can apply to your training, guys. I repeat this stuff over and over and over again. Even my brother even asked me, like, do you worry about saying the same shit over and over again? And I'm like, no, because someone needs to hear it. Someone's still doing these exercises wrong or not as optimal as they should be, and I'm always gonna be there to make sure you guys do them. That's just how it's gonna be. But guys, if you need some help, if you need some coaching, if you made it far enough that you've dropped some weight and you know how to go further from there, or you're at the beginning of your fitness journey and you just need guidance and you just want to bypass making mistakes, guys, hit the link in the description below, johnishuefitness.com, fill that application, get on a 15-minute video consult with me. We go over your goals and see what we can achieve together. Anyway, guys, until next time, you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron, progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace.